So I'm Professor Steve Coyne. So I'm a teaching professor or assistant professor teaching stream of philosophy and computer science. And to tell you a little bit about my background, I did a undergrad in math before doing a PhD in philosophy. And so I think about the ethics of AI. I think about the intersection of those two fields I studied as an undergraduate now. So what I do now is largely teach ethics to STEM students. So I'm the main ethicist and kind of main coordinator for this embedded ethics program at the University of Toronto. So we put ethics modules throughout the STEM curriculum, especially in computer science. So we'll do modules like bias in machine learning, accessibility in software design, and a whole bunch of modules connected to ethical issues in artificial intelligence. So AI ethics is about the different values that are at play in developing and using AI. So on the one hand, there's the different ways that AI might be used to harm or wrong people. But on the flip side, there's all the potential ways that AI could be used to benefit people and improve the world. The way that I think about AI ethics is to split it into two halves. There's short-term kind of questions about how AI is used right now, right in the present day. So for instance, if you're using an AI system that's making decisions about people, is it biased or discriminatory towards people? This is a great example of how having input from people outside of computer science, so in this case philosophers, is really helpful for understanding the issues. You can't really tell whether, say, a classifier is biased without having a rich understanding of the idea of bias. And a rich idea of the understanding of discrimination. Like, why is discrimination wrong? Why does discrimination bother us so much when someone's discriminated against? So another good example of short-term AI problems, ones that we're confronting right now, are the issues around deepfakes. Suppose I have access to a bunch of pictures of somebody, and I use them to make a new AI synthesized kind of photo of them. Maybe it's an innocent one, maybe it's not an innocent one. In this case, why exactly have I wronged them? And that gets into really hard and interesting philosophical problems about what we own about ourselves. Do we own our image, for example? So those are the sort of short-term issues that I think about in AI, and there's many others as well. But it's worth thinking about the other half of AI ethics as well, the kind of long-term questions about artificial intelligence that get some people really excited. Sometimes these are called issues of AI safety. So in the kind of medium term, there's questions about what's called AGI, or artificial general intelligence. So what's going to happen to us when we have AI agents that are as intelligent as us, that are capable of completing the same kind of tasks we are, or more than that? So there's really interesting questions there about how that's going to change how we think about the goods and values in our own lives. So for example, think of a lot of the pastimes that we think of as really valuable, like writing and thinking through problems. Right now we think that there's a lot of intrinsic value associated with doing each of those things. But when we learn that a machine can do that and do all those things in seconds, how is that going to change how we view our own contributions to those activities? And perhaps the biggest long-term issue is issues around human replacement or human extinction. People who create super intelligent AI systems are worried that those systems might come to displace humanity someday. That an AI system would have no reason, say, not to get rid of humans, either slowly or very quickly. And that raises a whole bunch of interesting questions. Like right now, as human beings in the present, how should we care about the existence of human beings in the future? Should we care about the existence of future generations? Like, what is so special about humans continuing to exist that wouldn't be achieved by having machines continue to exist? So these are hard and interesting questions that come from the cooperation of computer science, philosophy, and other disciplines. And I think that that distinction between kind of these short-term issues and these long-term issues is a really helpful lens for thinking through AI ethics as a whole. So you might think that AI ethics is just for computer scientists, or computer engineers or software engineers or people who develop AI systems. But AI ethics is actually of interest to pretty much everybody. So first of all, everybody's affected by AI ethics. All of us, or a whole bunch of us, use AI systems. A whole bunch of us use large language models, generative AI on a daily basis. But even if you don't use it, you're being affected by it all the time. So pretty much everyone in every discipline has reason to get interested in AI ethics for that reason alone. But also, AI ethics really, the kinds of conversations in AI ethics really need participation from people across the disciplinary spectrums. So of course we need computer scientists who give us, who are developing these systems, who have the technical knowledge about different design decisions in implementing these systems. As you might imagine, I think that philosophers have a big role to play in AI ethics and giving us kind of conceptual schemes and arguments to think through the different issues. But people from other disciplines too are really important to AI ethics. So for instance, people who make observations about how people use AI systems in the wild are really important. We can't do ethical AI unless we understand how people actually interact with these systems. For instance, how many people in using a phone defer to the AI autocomplete system? When someone looks at an AI system, what do they think about it? Do they think do they understand it? Do they think it's a kind of magic? So we need people to make those kinds of observations, and those kinds of observations are important for making having the kinds of ethical conversations that we need to have about AI. So if you want to get more involved in AI ethics, I think there's a few things you could do. So if you're just starting out in AI ethics, I think you should find something that connects to your personal interests. There's lots of issues in AI ethics, ranging from bias and discrimination to deepfakes to manipulation to existential kind of stuff. And depending on your interests, different of those issues will probably attract your attention. So the good news is there's lots of places, say online, where you can find quick videos that illustrate these problems. So our U of T's very own Schwartz-Reisman Institute has a regular seminar series every week that covers the whole range, and they record all the talks that they do. So I think that's a good place to start. Just browse their library of videos and just search for the ones that strike your interest. Pop culture is another good place. If you find movies or if you already do have a background, if you've been thinking about AI ethics for a while and want to take it to the next level, I think a good place to do that is to take a whole course that'll help you kind of build a systematic way of thinking about AI ethics and fill in any gaps that there might be in your knowledge. So U of T has lots of good courses in this kind of direction. So for example, I'll make a little plug for my own Phil 277 course on data ethics, which is especially focused on some of those kind of near future or present day kind of concerns about AI ethics. But there's other courses in the philosophy department that have to do with longer term, big picture kind of questions like human extinction and so forth. Philosophy department's not the only place where you can get a course like this. So for instance, there's courses in the computer science department. CSE 300 will often take on a lot of these questions. Those are sort of, all those ways of learning about AI ethics are sort of individual though, things that you can kind of do on your own. But I think the very best way, whether you're just starting out or deepening your knowledge of AI ethics, is to find like-minded people who want to talk about AI ethics. And for that reason, I think maybe the very best thing that you can do is find an extracurricular club of other students, people in a similar kind of position as you, who are passionate about these issues, have views about these issues, want to talk about these issues. I do want to make a plug for IlluminAI. They're a great community of students. They've put on fantastic events. I think you'd get a lot out of engaging, out of going to those events. So this is just the first of many videos from IlluminAI. So there's going to be a lot more videos to come from a variety of different speakers on a variety of different topics. So I'm excited to watch these videos as they come out, and I'm really excited for more people to join the conversation.